whaatara noa mata upu I swing o le whaavae ele atunu u. Tu ina mai si polo inga le sui kovana e whailo ai a inga e whiriwhiri ai sui o le fono o le komiti tupulanga. Whaalia nisi o a inga le au nanga fau a le mauta ngase. Tu se whao poponga o tala mai lau KVZK. E mo mwatu nei a fiafi o le vai aso nei le mo wai se whailo inga le fionga le kovana sili. Ia le manu pale poi se ale ngā maunga ma le whailo tūsile interior ia Deborah Harland. I mata upu I swing o le whaavaya le atuna o. Talofa, this is KVZK News. The Secretary of Interior, Ms. Deborah Harland, has reassured Governor Lemanu that the department is going to review the constitutional amendments in the spirit of respect for our self-determination. In a meeting held this week in DC, Governor Lemanu and Ms. Harland discussed the 5 amendments approved by the people of American Samoa. Here is more.
Au whangasolo ai whonotanga le kovana siri a le manu pale poisi a ngā maunga mapaanga le malo le federale. O le vai aso nei lia na whautanu ina aise tasi o ana whonotanga tāua ma le official interior. Ma le whailau tusil interior a Deborah Harland na whailua ai ma le kovana siri ma le au malanga. Mo le whaamu moina I tu ina atu e aloa ia e swing o le whaavae pe ona palota e le atunu o I lana whainga palota tele le masino novema o le tausanga na te nei. I lea whonotanga sa awai fo I ma le whaipulu Amerika Samoa le lau mua I au I whaatali a mua amata. Whaapei ma le loia silia le atunu o ia whaino le lea lai lima utu. I se saunoanga le whailau tusil interior ia Deborah Harland na ia tā uai o le ailo ilo tuto ai lono ofisa swing o le whaavae pe ona tu ina atu nei lono ofisa. Ma le a whaia lea e pine lunga o mana onga o tangata o Amerika Samoa. Wa ale temi mo mua le nei taru mai le fast full tausanga. Wa talia ai e tangata o le atunu uni swing o le whaavae. Na whaafetai le a fionga le kovana sili a le manu le whailautusi a Harland malana langolango I le fono le whaavae Amerika Samoa e meiso le avanoa o mawai se whailoa inga maia whaapea le au malanga. During a meeting held in the capital this week, Honourable Governor Lemanu Palepoi Sialenga Maunga emphasized the need to honor the referendum by the people of American Samoa. Congresswoman Uifatali Radowagan, who was in attendance, echoed Governor Lemanu's request and shared her support for the approved 5 amendments. Attorney General of American Samoa, Fainudele Alaidi Mautu, also spoke on behalf of the delegation. The Secretary of Interior, Ms. Harland, stated that a thorough review of the amendments is underway, mindful that this is the first time in more than 40 years that amendments have been approved by the voters. Governor Lemanu thanked Ms. Harland for her support of American Samoa's Constitutional Convention and for the opportunity to meet with her team in person to discuss the 5 amendments. In addition to Secretary Harland, other key DOI officials who were present were Assistant Secretary for Insular and International Affairs, Carmen Cantor, and Deputy Assistant Secretary for Insular and International Affairs, Keone Nakoa. The head and deputy of the Interior's Office of Solicitor were also present. In other news, Governor Lemanu Palepoi Sialenga Maunga testified today before the United States Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee. The committee called the hearing to discuss the state of the U.S. territories and their unique issues. In this testimony, Governor Lemanu discussed the many needs of American Samoa, including critical funding for infrastructure projects, including a new hospital, power, housing, transportation, seawalls, highways, airports, workforce, education, and security issues.
O le so le na tu ina mai ai se polo inga whaale malo le sui kovana ia tala wenga le asalo vane le ale. E mai ui ai ia inga le komite o tūpulanga le kovana sili. E lalo le polo inga lo ta wai e whaapea. O le komite o tūpulanga te tau na o fiai ni whana wa onga e to lua, tasi le tama, tasi le teine. I le vāle se fulma le ono le lua se fulma le lua te usaka le matua. Mai ia onga le malo whaapea i ma onga tū maoti. E iai vasenga maurulunga. Ma e whiriwhiria mai ai e le pule a onga po le whaatonu o le a onga. Ia tatau ona ia ise tamatiti a onga tu tasi mai le kolisi maulunga Amerika Samoa e whiriwhiria mai le presidente whapeai masui e to ono e whiriwhiria le Kovanasili lua mai tu malo mai tatau ona i le vao le sifurma leono ma le tau le sifurma le dua tau sanga le matua e le taimi le whiriwhiringa. E le tatau ona whaatu lai se isi le taimi o saini ai le neipolo inga ona e leo whaamaliaina inga o le matua o tau sanga e pe ona taua. I le anga i lumo whiriwhiringa uma o sui e te tau o na whaamaria i nang nei iainga. Ia whaatinoina vave le whaingo o whinei whiriwhiringa o sui. O isi whiriwhiringa e so ai e te tau o na whaatau uina i le asa sumalili mo se tema o tausanga tiktasi. O le komiti le nei o le leo lea o tūpulango Amerika Samoa i upu whai ale malo. Ma o le whaatono le diwa o le a whauluru iai le komiti le nei, ma o ia foi o le a whai maso upu i vao le komiti ma le malo i mata upu uma ina ia solonga le leia i pea ia fuafuanga mangaluenga o le nei whaamoe. Acting Governor Talawengele Salovale Ale has issued an executive order to establish membership criteria for the Governor's Youth Council. The new executive order supersedes 10/2022. According to the order, council shall consist of 2 students, 1 boy and 1 girl between the ages of 16 and 22 years old from each public and private school that has high school classes to be selected by the principal or director of that school. 1 student who is between the ages of 16 and 30 years old from the American Samoa Community College that is selected by the president of the college, and 6 members appointed by the governor, 2 from each district who are between the ages of 16 and 30 years old at the time of their appointment. No member of the Governor's Youth Council on the day this order is signed may be removed from the council because they do not meet the age requirements found in Section 3 of this order. Future appointments to the Governor's Youth Council must meet these requirements. Initial appointments shall be made as soon as possible. Subsequent appointments shall be made by September 15th of each year. The Council shall act as a voice for the youth of American Samoa to the American Samoa government. The Director of the Department of Youth and Women's Affairs shall oversee the Governor's Youth Council and act as a liaison between the Council and other organizations to ensure the smooth and continued operation of the Council. O le tatala ai o le isi au nanga fōu le mautangasi le LPJ mo le mamalu le atunuu o se whaenga i o fuafuanga le komiti whaafoe ina ia whaititia le to'atele o le mamalu le atunuu e o atu i le vaenga le ER mo se Swani. E pei ona taua le whaatulusiri le tumau le mautangasi a Dr. Kapusi Lantua o ngasi o le vaai lea o vaenga o ngasi le utingaina e whaisiaki masani e pei o le toto maulunga o le whatu maisi vaenga i mo'mia o na whaatuluina i le mautangasi. E le taimira tala nuanga le mautangasi mala utu si tala le vai asunei na fasiringi ai Dr. Lantua pe o le a fiai le ngā lue ma ngā luenga ta i fomai ma teine tau simai o lo ngā lue i vaenga ese o le mautangasi. E le tali Lantua o le alea a fiai le numero ta i fomai o lo ngā lue i le LPJ. O teine fomai ua ta ua clinic nurses e amata mai le valu le tai au se ia pa ia le whai le afiafi. Ai o le suinga la i le nei ua whaupopo iai le isi whai tu la i ngā rurui ai i se whainga tu u whaasolo po o le roaster. Sau noa fo i le Lantua o lea fuafuanga ua tu i nātu i le taitai o teine tau simai e nāti e Swani i le taimi ngā rurui ai teine tau simai. The opening of the new LBJ Hospital non-urgent care clinic is not going to impact the services of the nursing staff working at the LBJ Hospital. That is the confirmation from the acting CEO of LBJ, Dr. Kapusi Lantua, during LBJ's media conference. According to Lantua, the nurses that will be used at non-urgent care are clinic nurses and does not involve the nurses that are rostered to work at the LBJ.
Remember the clinic nurses, they start at 8 and they finish at 4 in the evening and they go home. But rather than them going home, we roster them to spend an extra 4 hours. And that has been left to the nursing, chief of nursing, to schedule the clinic nurses. Either they will have 2 hours each and two sets of nurses comes in, or they can just extend 1 nurse to work for that 4 hours. So we are utilizing the nurses that are supposed to go home at 4 to work in this non-urgent clinic. So it is not going to impact, the nurses shortage that are already in the ward.
According to Dr. Lindua, LBJ is committed to a high quality and safe patient care. All patient triage as non-urgent is in the ER will be referred to the non-urgent medical clinic nearby the ER. This will greatly speed patient access and improve timely care for the people of American Samoa. The clinic opens daily from 4 to 8 p.m. Also mentioned at the conference, LBJ will hire 12 new doctors and the recruitment of 20 new nurses. Dr. Lindua said that within a month, 2 Filipino nurses who have been working in Fiji will be here to take charge of the nurse recruitment. Na matua imanino lava le saunoanga le afionga le konsulo Samoa i Amerika Samoa i Fata Prime Kayo. Ile taim na fisilinga i lau KVZK i tusayo le saunga le mua mea tau mawhai Samoa o loo awina mai i nei dan tunu. Samoa Consul General Father Brian Kayo clarified the safety of food imported to American Samoa from the independent Samoa. He also explained the agreement signed by Samoa and the American Samoa at the Atoll Samoa meeting.
O pusa fua mo mai si mea tau mawha mai le malo tuto tasiu Samoa leo lo vavao e nei tātou atunu. E whampele o saunga le mu nei mea tau mawha mo le fafonga tau mawha le atunu. O le tūlanga le nei na tau sa idia i alau KVZK se whaapani nonga o nei tua inga e tu sai o mea tau mawha lo awina mai Samoa. E se whaatataranoanga lau KVZK ma le awhionga le konsula le malo Samoa tuto tasi nei Amerika Samoa ia Fata Brian Kayo i lunga le polklame masani alau KVZK le manuo. Na ia tāua i e whaapea o mea tau mawha lo ngosi ma awina mai Amerika Samoa o lo saunga le mu mo le fafonga tau mawha le atunu.
O lo saunga le mu ma le lei le tapenanga o loa ngosi i Samoa mo le fafonga tau mawha le atunu. E le ngata i tumua mapule ia whapena fo i ale awhio atu tutuila manua. Awa o lo whaawau peo na whetā loloa i le atunu. Ma whangasoloa i fo i tūlanga o whalavlawe o ainga, o fuafuanga o ngaluenga. E leo tau fia lava le tūlanga. Ma o le tūlanga nā i le saunga le mu. O lo o saunga le mu ma le me uma.
Nafsini a fo i alau KVZK le tūlanga peo na iai nisi o tangata lo whimlanga i antu i Samoa ma tau sami tau mawholo kukai na mga o si whale aingi Samoa pe iai seisi na mau ai si soifua pe mai fo i nei tau mawha e na tali whata e whapea.
O le sao lava. O le lava e whemalanga i le malu le tunu i aso uma. E le ngata e whanau laiti o te māmatua, mtina matua i whalavlawe o ngā luenga me uma. Ia, o loa lava le lenga o si Samoa. O le whai e fo i tau maftanga a whio atu. Ma e fie whalo i atu. E le iai lava se tūlanga wapea wa a fia se soifua o mau se soifua. Ono le tūlanga.
O le tulanga i le whonutanga Samoa e lua le ato Samoa na o fia fo i le saunoanga a whata e tu sai o le mafuanga na lai o na whaatino le nei whonutanga.
Peo na e saunoa tu ese. O le nganga lava ia o le ngalue whaatasi. O ani a wala e langolango ia Samoa i Amerika Samoa e whapena fo i. Le nei tu vai anga i o. Lea na tato mai tau le taimi o COVID. Na shutdown pena tapuni atola langi. O misi na tulanga sa wha mafa. Le alme tupu pe a fai ua le aia se fsosoani mai fafo atu. Pe umna mia se fsosoani vave. Ia na luas full minute i Samoa, whapena voi na luas full minute nei i Amerika Samoa. Pe o le angangana o le ato Samoa, sa iai.
E pe ona saunua whātau tau mawha ma o lo ngausi lawa i Samoa ma awina mai nei Amerika Samoa. Ilo iei se vaenga i ono whaapapurei nei dan tunu. A wā o lo saunga le mu nei tau mawha mo le whafonga tau mawha tātou wa tunu. O lo tau fia nei le toi au mai o loa mai Samoa tuto tasi mo le temi nei.
Samoa Consul General to American Samoa Fata Brian Kayo did not want to discuss the issue relating to the ballot of eggs that is now the main topic of discussions in both the Senate and the House. He emphasized, however, that food products imported from Samoa are safe for consumption. Speaking on the Manual program today, Fata said Samoa is a member of the World Food and Agriculture Organization. The FAO has stringent food regulations and quarantine measures that Samoa and other member countries of the United Nations signed and rectified, including the USA. The FAO headquarter office for the Pacific is in Samoa.
Fanta explained the United Nations has an ongoing development program in Samoa that is geared towards food security and food safety for Samoa. The World Health Organization regional office in Apia also has similar programs that promotes safer food handling through systemic disease prevention and awareness programs through the WHO 5 Keys to Safer Food message and training materials, advocating for food safety as an important component to health security. Fanta made special mention of the visit to Samoa by the Deputy Secretary of State, Wendy Sherman, last year. He said the Deputy Secretary would not have visited Samoa if the food offered locally was not safe. Fanta also mentioned that many prime ministers, heads of governments visited Samoa in the past, and food safety was never an issue. King Charles of Great Britain is also leading a delegation to Samoa for the Commonwealth Leaders meeting next year, and a team from the Foreign Affairs Office were in Samoa recently to inspect everything from food to accommodation so that food available locally is safe for the delegation. Fanta said American Samoans travel to Samoa every day and they enjoy the local food offered locally, from fine dining to food offered at the local markets. The Atoll Samoa is an important forum for the two Samoa. Reflecting back to last year's meeting outcome, Fata said the two Samoa agreed on the importance of promoting trade between Samoa and American Samoa, focusing on strengthening exports and manufacturing between the two countries, and to support diversification of local economies. Meanwhile, the Senate will soon discuss a solution requesting the governor of American Samoa to put an immediate stop to the imports from Samoa. The resolution also asked the Attorney General's office to apply to the High Court of American Samoa for an independent prosecutor to investigate and review the situation to ensure that the American Samoa Code annotated 46.4701 bribery of the public servant and 46.4702 public servant acceding to corruption and any other laws of the land have not been violated by the employees of the Department of Agriculture.
O le veiaso fou le ua fofu e whaataunu inai se pōklame fou a le matanga ruenga le pui ngā loto i whale. Ua tau o le tamoe la fitau po le run, hide, fight ia o ngā maururunga a le antunuu. E se whaamautuina o le pōklame na saunoai le whaatonu le matanga ruenga ia sa mana vevea. E whaapea o le whaamoe o le ni ia ua onga o le whailoa le ialo ma whanau a wale mawhai o na whai i le teime tula i mai ai tūlanga whaamatau i totonu a onga. O se vaenga na tāua i le saunoanga sa mana. O le whaalavelave lea na tula i mai taluai nei ina ua whaia ni whaamatalanga whaamatau a se tāsio tamaiti tiaonga o le ai whaoina leoti inisi o whanau a onga lea onga tāfuna e whaonga inai se la au malosi. Saunoa sa mana e talosia e leo o mai Amerika Samoa ia whaalavelave a e mo mia le no foutou whanau i ngā yoinga e te tau o na lātou whaia pe a tula i mai vaenga ia i totonu a onga. The Department of Homeland Security will be implementing a run, hide, fight, active shooter protocol training within the schools across the territory starting next week. This was confirmed by Homeland Security Director Samana Vevea. The training was prompted after a recent incident where a student allegedly made threats on social media of possibly shooting up a high school campus last month. Samana told KVZK News that the objective of the training is to equip our students with the knowledge on how to deal with such situations so that in any case of a classroom shooting, our children and teachers know what to do. He told KVZK News that they have been working on putting a plan together and will share with the public knowledge on the basics of what to do under these circumstances. Leo la tātou alo tina malunga pupu na rei vaenga o la whiawhi ato e te mai o na awinatu leo tala, whaawawinatu leo tala lau KVZK. Let's take a short break, plenty more coming up, so stay with us.
Sergeant First Class Sean Salanoa, 6th Recruiting Brigade, American Samoa Recruiting Station.
American Samoa's very own son honored in a ceremony in the Pentagon today. In Apia, the three parties to a long-standing murder investigation have agreed to adjourn the matter to 22nd of February. And New Zealand police finds 3.2 tons of cocaine in the Pacific Ocean. Talafatu le toe tiri mai o tala lau KVZK. O se tasio alo Amerika Samoa ia sa tini Sean Saladoa. Na alo ialo na sao i lea so e ala i se sauninga sa fai le Pentagon i Washington. O le sunga ia Sean e atoa ia ia le se fulma le tolu usui mai stete ma territorio Amerika na faalawi loa i lea so le latou ngā lue ma latou ngā lue ngā fita o le una ia lea o alo ma whanau o le atunuu e tautua i vai ngā au le malo. O le sauninga i lea so na whaatasi u matuai a ingo Sean mai Amerika Samoa lea na malanga whaapitoa mo lea whaamoi. Na whaafetai e le nei alo o le atunuu si o na ainga ai maiti o lona na to'olua ua whai langi fōlaunga ia nua salanoa ona o le lango malosi ia te ia a o suifua. American Samoa's very own son, Sergeant First Class Sean Salanoa, has been honored in a ceremony in the Pentagon today. Salanoa is among the top 13 U.S. Army recruiters in the nation. Today at the Hall of Heroes in the Pentagon, the top 13 recruiting non-commissioned officers from the first quarter of fiscal year 2023 were given medals to honor their service to the nation. At the ceremony, Major General Johnny Davis made a special mention of Salanoa's family, who traveled all the way to D.C. from the territory to attend the ceremony.
We have one from America Samoa, and I'd like to highlight one, of course, Sergeant First Class Salanoa from America Samoa. We're very blessed today to have his family here. They traveled here to be here as part of this ceremony. So his dad, Dr. Salanoa, sir, it's good to see you. His uncle, Mickey, and then, of course, Aunt Sally. And they also represent the governor's office as well. Let's give them all a round of applause.
The award ceremony that was live on the U.S. Army Recruiting Command was attended by the Honorable Christine Wormuth, Secretary of the Army.
No, I think it's fair to say that the Army is facing the most significant recruiting challenge that we have faced in decades. And I like to say, whether I'm talking to members of Congress or external audiences, recruiting right now is a no-fail mission. And what you all are doing is incredibly important. Because if we can't, the Army has got to be large enough to do all of the things that the nation counts on the Army to do. And if we aren't able to make our recruiting mission this year, next year, we are not going to be as large as we need to be. So this is incredibly important. Propensity is at an all-time low. Only about 9% of young Americans express an interest in military service. And we have got to do something. The whole Department of Defense has got to find a way to get more young Americans interested in serving this country, whether it is in uniform, preferably an Army uniform, or serving in some other way as in law enforcement, as teachers, as nurses, you name it. Trust in our military is also declining. The military is still, I think, the most respected institution in our country, but relative to polling that we've had in the past, that trust is declining a little bit. And I think it's, parents have some questions about serving in the military that maybe they didn't have a few years ago. They're unsure sometimes when I talk to recruiters. I hear them telling me that parents, are not sure about whether it's a good decision to send their, young sons and daughters into the Army.
Salanoa dedicated his award to his late wife, Nua Salanoa, because she played a huge role in his work. Malo sa ili malo le tawi Vishan. Itala mai pia ua mai o na mali die vai ngai tolu lo faia le su enga o le fasio ti tangata o levo na faia ma ua toi tolo po le fa amsino o le ya tau le sa Clark le mata upu la solus fru luo February mo le fa mai no nei malienga o ilan tau o lo tulai le nei mata upu e afiai maunga jeng o lo tulai mo vai ua se yuli o le ya tau le sa front o lo tulai mo waka se yuli ma le official le lo yesili o lo tulai mo le mata galuengo leo o se vaengo le matau pu o se tangi e vai ua ma waka e whaasanga le matanga ruenga o leo ma ua whaatulanga e whaise i loilonga mo aso e tolu na amata mai le aso na nafi. E pitai na whailoa i le vaenga i le whaamasidonga ua umau na lato whaise maa lienga matalo sangaina le toi tolo poino le matau pu i le aso i so ai. Na tau mawhai le loia a le official le loia sili e wha maunia se isi whaatuai e ua ai na tu watu le afionga le li whaamasino ya Clark se taime whaatulanga ai le mata upu a o le itoe wala awina le nei mata upu i le itula e lua i le awaudi ana nafi. In our news from up here, the three parties to a long-standing murder investigation have agreed on a settlement, and Justice Leatawalisa Clark adjourned the matter to 22nd of February for the completion of the memorandum of agreement. Parties to the case are Vaiua Seyuli, represented by Maunga Jang, Walker Seyuli, represented by Leatawalisa Prant, and the Office of the Attorney General, representing the Ministry of Police. Central to the matter was a civil claim by Vaiua and Walker against the Ministry of Police and was scheduled for a 3-day hearing starting yesterday. However, the three parties informed the court that they have reached a memorandum of agreement and asked for an adjournment on the following day. Counsel for the Office of the Attorney General tried to justify a further delay, but Justice Clark gave the parties time to sort it out before he recalled the matter at 2 p.m. yesterday afternoon. I tala mai le Pasifika e tolu tesi ma le lua le mamafa o se afifio whala u whaasai no le eisa e pia ma le afa piliona tala se vai ngā tupe e mawai. Lea na maua e leo i ni usila o lo o tafi e fea i le sami. I le ngā lulue whaatasi ai ma le vae ngā le pui ngā le ofiso tiute na mawai e leo i ni usila le vale sutasi pusa o le whala u whaasai no le eisa o lo o tafi e fea i vasa o le Pasifika. Ma na uta ua e whapea na awai mai na awina mai uta ni whala u whaasaina mo le iduiluina mo le whaaleangaina. E le mawhai na tani le ofiso le leo pe whaafefeo na lato wiluaina ni whala u whaasaina. E le ilewa o na iai le afifi le nei i o aisa i le sami ai whaatu amaua loa i leo. Na ta ua le komisina ia Andrew. Ona o le te le o uta o e fōringa mai o whala u whaasaina nei na ngā iatu mo Ausitalia. New Zealand police have intercepted 3.2 tons of cocaine valued at $500 million drifting in the Pacific Ocean. In a joint operation with the Defence Force and Customs, New Zealand police recovered 81 bales of cocaine drifting in the Pacific Ocean and says it has been brought back to shore to be assessed and destroyed. The cocaine was found in nets with flotation devices awaiting collection. Police would not comment on how the drugs came to their attention. The bales were found 6 days sailing northeast of New Zealand in international waters. The package had not been in the water long before it was found. Commissioner Andrew Costa says due to the shipment's size, the drugs were likely destined for Australia. Ele awinatu ia report le tau mo Amerika Samoa nei vai ngole fiafi o se vainga nei di swing o tupe nei fo yaso. Tasi le tala Amerika whare diwina mo ai le lua tala o na sutolu sene tala Samoa. Tasi le tala Amerika whare diwina mo ai le lua tala lu sulfitu tonga paanga. Tasi le tala Amerika whare diwina mo ai le lua tala sulmanawalu tala fiti. Ma le tasi le tala Amerika whare diwina mo ai le lima sulfa manavalu sultasi a Philippine pesos. Here's a look at our currency exchange rates for today. $1 US gives you 2 tala and 63 cents Samoa tala. $1 US gives you $2.27 Tonga Paanga. $1 US gives you $2.18 Fiji dollar, and $1 US gives you 54.81 Philippine pesos. And that's our currency exchange rate for today. Usi mai lola mai moi se vai ngole tau mo Amerika Samoa i ni vai ngole fiafi. O se whaingo le tau I le pōna nei, ma tiri na awawa e te ulu timunga, ma lua le e whitu se whuluwalu, se viri mai se sae, se fulu lima mai le li tu la. A se wharaile o I le pōle asunga fuai, ma tiri na awawa e ta ape sulu timu, ve vele val se fuluiva, ma lua e whitu se fuluiva, se viri mai matu se sae, se fulu lima mai le li tu la. A so lua e o I le aso lulu e ma tiri na awawa e te ulu timunga, ve vele le e val se fuluono, ma lua le e whitu se fulufitu, a se viri e angi le lautasi e o le se fulu mai le li tu la. Looking at tonight's weather is mostly cloudy, numerous showers, lows around 78, east winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Looking at Friday through Monday night is mostly cloudy, scattered showers, highs around 89, lows around 79, northeast winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tuesday through Wednesday is mostly cloudy, numerous showers, highs around 86, lows around 77, variable winds up to 10 miles per hour. And that's our weather report for this evening. O le whai ungare nau tala mai lau KVZK, whaatai tere le whaatasi mai, sui fwaya. And that concludes your news from KVZK TV. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye.